when the Aron expedition landed on planet N47. They expected ruins, not miracles. The planet's surface shimmered with heat, its sand swirling with magnetic dust that interfered with every signal. But when they uncovered the first structure, a vast obsidian temple half buried in rock, the team realized they weren't the first intelligent beings to stand there. Captain Elias Ward had led dozens of digs across dead worlds, but none had ever made him feel watched before. Something about the carvings on the temple walls, twisting, alien symbols that seemed to shift when you blinked, made his skin crawl. Radiation stable. His second-in-command, Dr. Rhea Lynn, reported, kneeling by a scanner. But I'm reading energy patterns, not mechanical. Organic. Ward frowned. Organic? In stone. Rhea nodded, her voice low, like it's breathing. They camped by the temple for the night, the twin moons of N47 hanging over them like silver eyes. As the crew drifted asleep, Ward stayed awake, staring at the towering structure. He could swear the walls pulsed faintly, as if something deep inside was alive and waiting. At 0300 hours, Rhea's scream shattered the quiet. Ward sprinted to her tent, weapon drawn. She was kneeling on the ground, trembling, staring toward the temple. She called to me, Rhea whispered. In my head, a woman's voice. Ward hesitated. What did she say? Rhea turned to him, eyes wide. She said, Why do you disturb my silence? By morning, the air had changed. The temperature rose sharply, and the ground vibrated with a low hum. The team gathered near the entrance of the temple, where a slab of black stone had cracked open overnight. A corridor yawned below, stairs descending into darkness. We're not ready, one of the engineers muttered. Ward ignored him. Light up the descent. We're going in. The passage led deep underground, twisting in impossible geometry. The deeper they went, the less their torches mattered. The walls began to emit a soft violet glow, illuminating carvings of tall, graceful figures kneeling before a radiant being. Rhea traced one of the carvings. She was worshipped, she murmured. A goddess. Ward examined the next panel. The kneeling figures were gone. In their place were corpses. The radiant being now loomed above them, her arms outstretched, consuming their light. Before anyone could speak, the air shifted. A low voice echoed through the chamber. Who enters my temple unbidden? The walls rippled. The floor trembled. From the center of the room, the black stone cracked open, and light spilled forth. Blinding, searing, alive. When it faded, she was standing there. The alien goddess. She was unlike anything they'd ever seen. Tall, almost twice human height, her skin iridescent like liquid metal, eyes golden and without pupils. Her robe shimmered with light that wasn't light, and when she moved, it felt as though the air bent around her. Rhea fell to her knees instantly, overcome by awe. She's magnificent. The goddess's gaze shifted toward her. You remember how to kneel. Ward stood his ground, heart pounding. We come in peace. We're explorers. Explorers, she repeated, her voice both beautiful and terrible. Thieves of memory. You dig up what is sacred and name it discovery. Ward swallowed hard. If this is your world, we meant no offense. This world was mine, she said softly. Before the silence. Before your kind learned to crawl from the dirt. She stepped closer. The temperature dropped instantly, frost crawling across Ward's boots. You will kneel, she said. Ward raised his weapon. No. For a heartbeat, the chamber froze. Time itself seemed to hesitate. Then the goddess smiled, a slow, cruel twist of her lips. Then you will break. The ground exploded. Energy surged through the room, hurling the crew backward. Equipment sparked and burned. Ward slammed into the wall. The breath knocked from his lungs. Through the smoke, he saw her raise her hand. Rhea's body lifted into the air, suspended like a puppet. Do you see now? The goddess whispered. Power is devotion. Worship is survival. Rhea's eyes rolled back. I worship, she gasped. Ward lunged forward, firing. The plasma bolt struck her square in the chest and vanished. The energy simply dissolved against her skin. The goddess turned to him, golden eyes narrowing. Defiance, she said. The first sin. Ward felt his weapon rip itself from his hands. It floated, twisted, and disintegrated in midair. He was lifted from the ground, choking as invisible hands closed around his throat. Bow, she hissed, and live. Ward forced the words through his teeth. We don't worship tyrants. Her grip tightened, then released. He felt the floor, gasping. She stared at him for a long moment, something unreadable flickering behind her eyes. Then she said softly, so much pride for such fragile creatures. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. The remaining crew had fled deeper into the tunnels, but Ward stayed. He refused to leave without Rhea, though she sat now beside the goddess, eyes empty, whispering prayers in a language not her own. What do you want from us? Ward demanded. The goddess turned. What all gods desire. Recognition. You want slaves. I want memory, she corrected. For eons I slept forgotten. My worshippers buried me in silence. But you came, and your machines woke me. You gave me voice again. For that, I offer you mercy. Kneel and your world will live. Ward stared at her, his mind racing. You can reach Earth? She smiled. I can unmake it. The air trembled as she raised her hand, and suddenly he saw it. The power radiating from her, vast and ancient. Visions flooded his mind. Burning cities, black suns, oceans of light consumed by her shadow. He dropped to one knee, panting. Stop. Her expression softened. Yes, worship me, and I will stop. Ward looked up and smiled faintly. You mistake surrender for faith. Before she could react, he slammed a small detonator against the temple floor. The seismic charge erupted, shaking the entire chamber. Cracks raced up the walls. The goddess shrieked, not in pain, but in fury. You dare! Ward dragged Rhea to her feet as debris rained down. Run! They barely made it to the surface. The ground split open behind them, light spilling out like molten gold. From the chasm, her voice thundered through the air. You cannot destroy me. I am eternal. Ward turned back, shouting over the roar. Then remember this. Humans don't bow. The temple imploded, swallowed by its own light. The explosion threw them across the sand, the sky turning white, then silent. When Ward opened his eyes, dawn was breaking. The temple was gone. Only a crater remained, still steaming. Rhea stirred beside him, her voice hoarse. Did we kill her? Ward stared into the smoking pit. I don't think gods die. For weeks afterward, the Aron expedition's transmissions grew strange. Data logs were corrupted by fragments of unknown code. Audio files whispered with a woman's voice, repeating phrases in no known language. Then, one by one, the remaining crew members began to disappear. Rhea was the last. Before she vanished, she left a single message on Ward's recorder. She's not gone, Elias. She's inside the light. Every signal we send, every frequency, she listens. She's rebuilding herself. And she remembers you. 5 years later, back on Earth, Ward lived alone in a cabin in the Scottish Highlands. The mission had been classified. The government called it a solar accident. But he still dreamt of her, golden eyes, shimmering robes, that terrible, perfect smile. One night, his radio crackled to life, though it wasn't tuned to any channel. A familiar voice whispered through the static. Bow. He switched it off, heart hammering, but the lights flickered, and every device in the room began to hum. On the wall, letters appeared, glowing faintly, carved by invisible hands. Worship me. Ward stood in silence for a long time. Then he picked up his gun and aimed it at the glowing words. No. The lights died instantly. The room plunged into darkness. For a moment, there was only the sound of his breathing. Then, from behind him, a soft voice spoke, no longer through machines. Then you will break. They found his cabin 3 days later. Everything inside was burned, except the wall. On it, the same words glowed faintly through the ash. The goddess lives.